All right, well, it is 5:30, or actually 5:31, I've been pointed out just a moment ago. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I know that we only have two of us present in the room, but we have Commissioner Tatum is on the phone, so he's listening in, and is present by telephone. He's out of town for work, so we do have everyone here. I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight for our meeting. We appreciate you coming. And at this time, I would like to ask Mr. West Fry if he will lead us in our invocation prayer.
Mr. Wood, pray with me. Good, gracious Lord Almighty, we do thank you for this time we have to be in front of our leaders and our understanding of people. Lord, we pray for this country, this state, and this county. We ask that our frontliners and our first responders and our law enforcement and all the necessary items in the county, including our works departments, Lord, that they are protected and safe, Lord, that they're providing a service for us. We ask that they have the means and necessary equipment to do their jobs, Lord. We ask that everyone here understand that there's a participation, and part of that is every day and not just at a meeting. We ask that we work hard and that we work strong, Lord, and work for Pickens County. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. While we're standing, Lieutenant Lee, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to work our way through the agenda. Not a ton on here tonight, but we're going to go through and hopefully take care of everything we need to take care of. Next item on our agenda is amendments to the agenda. We do have one amendment to the original advertised, and that was to add item D under new business. It's the lease for the Department of Community Supervision, which is the probation offices that are at the courthouse. It's just a renewal of their lease. They sent it over after we advertised our agenda, and so we added that item in here. It's the only amendment I have. Do you have any amendments you need to make? Do I have a move to add that amendment onto our agenda for tonight?
So moved.
I have a move and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, so we now have our agenda set. We'll go next into our employee recognitions. We do have two recognitions tonight. One is not able to be with us, but one is. We'll start with the one that's not here. We'll go through and it's Mr. David Key, works for the Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Key is actually receiving his 10 years of faithful service award and pin tonight. So I'm going to set this over to the side, and Ms. Essig will take it back to him whenever we finish up. But David's been with the county now for 10 years of incredible service. If he were here, I would have a blast picking on him because he's fun to pick on. He retired before he came here, so he's a good one. Second is one that we get recognized for 20 years of service to the county. We've got Lieutenant Chris Leak here with the Pickens Sheriff's Office. Joined the county 20 years ago, so he is, as of last month, he passed his 20-year mark. So I'd like to ask if you would to come up front. We'll present this with you and get a picture, and just thank you tremendously for all that you've done during that 20-year time. I'm sure they've been the most peaceful days of your life.
I just got off the phone with the sheriff, and he told me to tell you that he appreciates everything you did.
Let's get right over here.
Obviously couldn't be here.
But I'd love to present this to you and say thank you very much for everything that you do. I'll let you hold it and pose and pick the camera. I don't know which one. All right, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Tatum looking fly in that picture.
Yeah. Stand up so much. Almost can't see it. All right. So no items on our consent agenda tonight. On our old business, we do have on our COVID leave policy. We discussed it in our work session last meeting. Last year, the rules and regulations had a 2-week quarantine period. That is, over the course of this year has changed to a 5-day quarantine period, followed up by 5 days with a mask. So what we would like to do, after speaking with HR, would be to update our policy to reflect the current status of that 5-day quarantine, to change from a 2-week down to a 1-week quarantine period, so that employees that do test positive still are encouraged to not come to work during that 5-day period, and then hopefully next year we'll be able to cut that out completely. But I'd like to ask for a motion in order to update our COVID leave policy to max out at 5 days of COVID leave.
So moved.
I have a move.
I'll second.
I have a move and a second. Any discussion on that?
I've got a question.
Is that still 80 hours per year, or is it?
The reason we say 5 days is because public safety falls under a different number of hours for a day. So if we stay 5 days, then it falls consistent with allowing up to 5 days of time off to prevent that. So if they don't use it all in one time, if you use 2 days because the weekend affected, then get sick again later in the year and have it again. Then
So
you
it's
guys-
5 days per year,
Per year.
calendar year?
Yeah, it'd be for the whole year. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll get Paula to update that in the handbook and get that out to all staff to make sure that everyone's aware. New business, we do have the fiscal agent for Family Connection for 2023. The county has served as the fiscal agent for Family Connections for several years. I don't know exactly when we originally started. This is a renewal to continue to remain the fiscal agent, so that we serve as their sign their paperwork for them on their behalf, and anything that they're applying for grant-wise, we're able to sign serving as their fiscal agent. Do I have a move to authorize me as chairman to sign the documents to continue serving as the fiscal agent for Family Connection?
So moved.
I have a move
I'll second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Funny, I was flipping through to sign it while we were sitting here, and I can't find the signature picture.
That's actually the current
We'll
lease.
set it, okay.
The
All right.
state, once you
We'll get it.
approve it, they'll send the second one.
Perfect. All right, the next item on the agenda is the scrap tire abatement reimbursement program. This is a program through the state of Georgia, put on through the Environmental Protection Division. It is essentially a grant that helps to reimburse counties for scrap tire reabatement. And it's to reimburse the local governments up to $6,097 for the scrap tire abatement program as described. The county will offer a period of time where they accept those tires, and this gives us an opportunity for the state to pay us to do that so that we can dispose of those. Do I have a motion to authorize me as chairman to sign the agreement that allows that to take place?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, a second. Motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? I know Kenny's here and can give more details if we need to.
Well, grant money's a good thing.
Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is an annexation that we've received from the city of Jasper. It's for parcel JA 100510001. It's 14.44 acres. The request was made for applicant Adil Yadav next to Prestige Medical to annex the property that's next to there, the 14 acres next to there on West Church Street. Zoning request is to annex it in as C2 general commercial. They've had a public hearing on zoning that's scheduled for January the 24th. One requirement before they go is that it be presented before the Board of Commissioners. It's not an item that we necessarily vote on. It's an item that we look to make sure that it does not create an island within the county that takes a city parcel of property and puts it into an island. In this particular case, it does not. It will touch right up next to city property that's beside it, and will continue for them to be able to expand their business over. So it's more of an informational piece to pass on to the board so that you guys are aware that that is there. Our planning office has not found reason to to try to oppose this annexation, but I want to make sure if you guys had concerns that we address those.
I'm good.
Good.
I don't have any concerns.
Okay, all right, then we will move that one over, and they will have their meeting later in the month to approve that and get that finalized. Item D is the one that we added onto the agenda tonight, and that's the lease with the Department of Community Supervision. In the courthouse, they actually have a suite on the first floor. I believe it's two separate offices that they've continued to lease from the county since the courthouse opened. It's a 4-year lease extension that would take that and just continue to extend it beyond where it's at. There's no changes to the term, to the rent, to anything that's there. It's just to make sure that we continue. So do I have a move to authorize me as chairman to sign this lease agreement to extend for a 4-year period?
Motion to approve the lease as presented.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
You broke up just a little bit. I think you were saying aye, but okay. All right. The motion does carry. So, all right, we'll get that information back to the state so we can keep that going. All right, next is our action items, is approval of minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes, both from January the 5th, one from our regular meeting, one from our work session. I know these were provided to each commissioner prior to coming in tonight to have a chance to read through those. Hopefully you have, and if so, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know if y'all said it the same. This whole cell phone thing is kind of hard to tell when you speak or when you don't. You did vote? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We have both voted yes. All right, then we'll approve both those sets of minutes. And the next item on our agenda is a reappointment. We've had Mr. Shane Fendley has been willing to serve on the tax assessor board and has expressed a desire or a willingness, probably not a desire, that might be a stretch.
I think that's a better term.
A willingness to continue to serve. Those terms, the 5-year terms, he serves in position A and has done a fantastic job with the tax assessor board, with being very active and has continued to keep his training up and attend everything that's there. So do I have a move to reappoint Mr. Shane Fendley to the tax assessor board?
Make a motion to reappoint Mr. Shane Fendley to the tax assessor.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I heard you that time. All right. Motion carries. Move through. All right, now next on our agenda is guest comments. Any comments that we have from anyone tonight? Open up an opportunity. Thank everybody for being here. I know it's a crazy season with a lot going on, and a bunch of families have had some really difficult things going on for the last several weeks. So it's neat to live and work in a community where we know people are surrounding and caring for and praying for each other. So we appreciate that, and thanks to everyone that's continued to make it that way. What makes us special. With that, then I would like to make a move that we go into executive session. The purpose for executive session tonight is to discuss or vote to authorize negotiations to purchase, dispose of, or lease property, authorize ordering and appraisal related to the acquisition or disposal of real estate, enter into a contract to purchase, dispose of, or lease property subject to approval in a subsequent public vote, or enter into an option to purchase, dispose of, or lease real estate subject to approval in a subsequent public vote. Do I have a motion to go into executive session at this time?
So moved.
I have a move. Do I have a second? Move in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We will go in at this time and thank everybody for being here with us.